Welcome, everybody, to the June 24th, 2025 meeting of Henderson County Fiscal Court. We will begin with an invocation. Please stand. Dear Heavenly Father, please watch over this body as we try to make good decisions for our community. Watch over our Henderson County team and all its members as they do work to serve our citizens. Please watch over the family of Joe Hopper, a valuable citizen in this community, as they mourn his loss. Please watch over our men and women in uniform, both here and abroad. We say these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Join me with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Sure. Magistrate Starks.
Here.
Magistrate Berry.
Here.
Magistrate Southard.
Here.
Magistrate Tompkins is absent. Magistrate Putman.
Here.
Thank you. And today's agenda is primarily taken up with kind of end of year cleaning up and some stuff we wanted to take care of before we changed into the new fiscal year. So bear this with us as we work through that. The first item is a joint resolution that Kentucky Transportation Cabinet is asking us. Oh, I'm sorry. You have in your packet the minutes of the June 10th, 2025 regular fiscal court meeting. After a period of review, I'll entertain a motion to approve those.
So motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other clarifications, additions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Now the joint resolution, this is, again, part of the process for helping build the I-69 bridge, and that is, I hope you had a chance to read the joint resolution. Basically says the local community affirms everything it's going to take to get the bridge built expeditiously, including the eventual use of tolls, which has never been really an issue. It's always been part of the plan, and this is just something that the state will require ahead of eventually forming a bi-state tolling authority and other legal requirements of the whole project. So, any questions about that? Does anybody have any objection to the clerk just reading the summary?
Works for me.
We'll do that.
A joint resolution of the City of Henderson, Kentucky and the Henderson County Fiscal Court expressing unified support for the completion of Section 2 of the I-69 Ohio River Crossing Project and authorizing the Mayor of Henderson and the Henderson County Judge Executive to issue a joint letter of support on behalf of both governments.
Entertain a motion to approve that.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thanks. Next, we have a rental agreement with Cintas. This is a renewal that includes some good work by our deputy judge to clarify some services that Cintas is contracted to, required to provide, and maybe a little hit and miss on whether they had been doing it in the past. Am I characterizing that correctly? So this is for ongoing mats and around the courthouse. So any questions about this? We need approval of the contract.
Mr. Gold, would you look over it?
I have, and there were some things I didn't particularly love in there. I believe Kurt may have marked those out. So as marked out, it seems good to go.
So move.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next, last month we voted fixed compensation for county employees, and the department head spotted some errors that we need to correct before the new year starts. You have those in your packet. Some of these were just related to plugging in an incorrect pay rate, and this fixes that. Any other questions about these? I'll give you a motion to look at it if you haven't.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Again, any other questions? These are all slight fixes. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next, we went to the auction on the salt bid, and you see the auction credential document there. And this has been submitted to us. And I believe the winning bid would be IBG Magic of Kentuckiana. This bid was organized through KACO. Do you want to augment the conversation here? Deputy Weeson.
Materials, 134.
135. It's hard to read that. So Compass Materials is the winning bid?
Compass Materials are $134 a ton.
Gotcha.
And just for note, this is up again from previous years. The last year was 103, I think. So it went up about $30 more a ton. So my recommendation is go with Compass Materials.
The 33,500. I'm like you.
That's
Total
the
price.
estimate, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
For 250 tons at
$250
$134 a ton,
Yep.
33,000.
We're under no obligation to get any at all, but this just locks a price in at the beginning of the year for us.
Yeah. Get a motion to approve accepting the Compass Materials bid.
So moved.
Motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next, we have a series of resolutions solidifying some agreements with organizations that we've been discussing over the last several months, actually. The first is the Homeless Coalition agreement, where, as you remember, we agreed to, in principle, to fund them over their next 2 years, a total of $40,000, and kind of take care of that for a couple fiscal years. And attached is the agreement with them. Any questions about that? Mr. Gold, anything you'd like to add?
No, Judge, it's very similar to last year, just added in a couple of the additional costs that they had previously presented to the fiscal court.
I do want to say I appreciate the county attorney's office work on getting these squared away. A little bit of a rush here at the end of the year to take care of some things in this fiscal year that wouldn't leak over into next, and I thank you for taking the time on that. Any questions about the Homeless Coalition agreement? Would you prefer a summary?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Resolution authorizing Henderson County Judge Executive to execute the attached agreement with Henderson Homeless Coalition, Inc.
And Vince, any of the copies of these things you'd like to have, I'll get it to you.
So moved.
See the full text. So any other discussion? We have a motion and a second.
No second.
Second.
Okay.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The next agreement is a renewal of our contract with the Humane Society. A couple notes. This is severable. We can, with 30 days notice, we can change a plan. We also, one difference is we are requiring them to handle all of our city and county contributions for animal control to be handled in separate accounts with separate credit cards, just to be certain that the funds aren't commingling in a way that would make it difficult for us to understand how they're spending our money. And their staff is amenable to that. So that's the only substantive change. And Steve, any other comments? Okay. Any questions?
Summary.
Anybody else object to the
Summary, please.
Resolution authorizing Henderson County Judge Executive to execute the attached Animal Control Services Agreement with Humane Society of Henderson County, Inc.
Move to accept. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next is the Habitat for Humanity funding agreement. And this is for the $200,000 we are moving into the new fiscal year to fund 2 homes to be built in the county outside the city limits of Henderson. It's a total of, the end result will be a total of $200,000, but this contract kind of spells out what the $200,000 can be used for. We hope to create 2 homes in this initial go-around, if you remember. They've already identified a place in Corydon. They are searching or trying to hunt down the landowners of a lot in Roberts to try to fund the second home. The $100,000 will not cover the entire amount, but it will be contributed towards the direct building of land acquisition and building of those homes. And it gives them 2 years from July 1 to accomplish that with the $200,000. So that's a reasonable amount of time to complete what we're trying to incentivize here. So.
Judge, remind me, did we agree to a 5-year plan on that? Or we talked about it, I guess.
Yeah,
and
we didn't agree to a
never
5-year
come
plan.
to.
It's basically a 2-year plan.
Okay.
And I think the original discussion was, let's dip our toe in the water with these,
Yeah,
see how it goes.
Yep.
And if it's something we want to do again in the future, more robustly or over, more time, we can. But this is kind of a trial run at it.
All right.
Because
Thank
as you know, Habitat, as you might have discussed, I don't think they've done a Habitat home outside the city limits of Henderson. So this would be a bit of a first, but I'm not
Well,
sure they have.
I think the first was the first year of their existence. Matter of fact, Steelworkers helped build us out on 416.
Yeah, I think there's some in Cardin too.
Well, they haven't in some time, I would say, not since I've been judge.
Yeah, they've been there a while.
So-
Yeah, I remember now, Judge. I went over it, yeah.
So any other questions about the funding agreement? Entertain a motion to approve. And do you mind if we read a summary of the resolution?
Yes, second.
Read the resolution real quick.
Resolution authorizing Henderson County Judge Executive to execute the attached funding agreement with Habitat for Humanity of Henderson, Kentucky.
How can I get a motion?
Second.
We have motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the next item is our creation of a surface water drainage district, and of course, this is the successor to the old drainage board, ditch districts, as they used to call them, that were funded only by nominal taxes that did not create enough revenue for them to do any projects of any size. And this will change that, hopefully working both with the Flood Mitigation Board. This district body will have more funding. I think we plugged in $250,000 for its initial year of funding to identify and execute projects that will help the drainage. And it's a huge issue in our county, as you know. I believe you've all had a chance to learn the structure. Based on this, we have a drainage district board, surface water drainage district board, made up of the 3 rural magistrates and Nick Stallings, who also will take input from an advisory committee of 4 citizens from the community. We will be appointing those after the first of the year, but the ones that I have asked and are willing to serve are Monty Parrish, Ab Cates, Gary Eblin, and J.C. Hicks, who are all veteran agriculturalists and have, in the case of 2 of them, have already were serving on the district board. 1 serves on the flood mitigation board, so they are very familiar with the needs of the community in that regard. So I will be talking about that after the first of the year and appointing them and beginning the district's work. But this document formally creates the surface water drainage district. And we can read the resolution, or we can read a summary. It's up to you.
Summary's fine with me.
Okay, anybody have any questions about it? I think the group will meet at least quarterly or as needed. The board will direct the advisory committee as to how it wants the committee's input, in what form, in what fashion. That'll be up to the board, and we'll see how it works. We can tweak this and adjust it as we go, but for a start, we're meeting the KRS requirements, and I think we formed a good board, a logical board, and also a good group of committee members who we'll again appoint next month. So we have a motion and a second. Well, let's read the summary. I'm sorry.
Resolution creating county surface water drainage district pursuant to KRS 269.270, establishing procedures therefore, and creating an advisory committee.
So move.
There's the resolution. Can I get a motion?
So move. Second.
Motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Now we want to do an official appointment.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't think we could do both of those together, the passing the resolution, and then now that it exists, you've passed the resolution creating the advisory board.
Right.
Now, if you want to go ahead and appoint the members of the advisory board.
The advisory board?
Yes.
Well, I would like to appoint, as I mentioned, J.C. Hicks, Gary Eblin, Monty Parrish, and Ab Cates to the advisory committee. Can I get a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Motion and a second. They were all willing to serve, very willing to serve. Didn't have to twist arms. So, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Mr. Gold. I'm going to knock that out. All right, next up, we have a change to the detention center policy and procedures manual. I'd like to ask Jailer Todd to add to that conversation.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Morning.
We haven't had a pre-audit for 10 years. I thought it was probably time we have one. Our policy was a little vague, the one we had. So we looked at others, and some of them were too cumbersome. So we got with Keiko, the vice of Steve, and we just used ours. I talked to Rich Ornstein. He said, how's you just go with that one. He said a few other jails has it, and it meets our needs. And there was one change in there, which y'all should have. I sent it to Kurt yesterday, that Steve found, just changing the number 2 to the letter B. But it makes sense. So my recommendation would just be, if we could approve this policy, and we'll go ahead and schedule an audit for a couple of months from now.
For the members of the court, and maybe Steve can help with this, just describe Prison Rape Elimination Act, the PREA,
Right.
what it's designed to do.
Exactly what it sounds like, to attempt to eradicate any sort of sexual assaults within correction settings. It deals with both hiring policies, training, reporting, all of those sorts of things. I'll let the jailer fill in.
The hiring and the training of the staff, as soon as this is approved, we have training when they're hired. They go through it, and then once a year they have a PREA training. But when this policy is approved, then we'll have complete staff.
So it's basically updated, tightened up,
Right.
hopefully more effective.
And I think what the jail had been doing was in keeping with, what most other corrections facilities are doing. It's just the actual written policy hadn't been updated in quite a while, so
Yeah.
that was fill-in that was needed for their audit. But
Yeah, new investigator.
their training and hiring and all of those things, my understanding was in keeping with.
Right, that's correct.
That had all been updated, but the actual words on the paper hadn't been
That
updated in
hadn't
a while.
been, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, that's correct. And we got another investigator that I've sent to training, so we'll just revamping it, make sure we're in correct policy and procedure. Up to date.
Any questions of Jailer Todd? And I appreciate you looking at this, make sure we're doing it correctly.
And I would reiterate to the court that it's virtually word for word what the CAECO model
Yeah.
policy is. And they've done a whole lot of research on this, and they're our insurance company who they want to make sure that we're in compliance with things. So they've done quite a bit on this model policy. So we figured that it was pretty safe adopting that and following that.
Well, why reinvent the wheel?
Would anybody prefer to just read a summary?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Resolution adopting amendments to the Henderson County Detention Center policies and procedures to repeal Section XIII 100 and replace it with updated language.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
All right, we're doing well. We still up on federal inmates. We began a SWORD program, which stands for Support of Others After Release. We've got 2, and we got spots for 10, so hopefully soon we'll have those full.
And next month, we're going to be really reviewing closely, maybe put a workshop together to drill down on the need for a possible expansion of the jail, the total
Sure.
costs and the benefits. And so be looking for that. And I think a workshop,
Yeah.
we really get around the table with architects and other advisors.
Yes,
to work on.
I spoke with Tim, our architect, yesterday. He's finalizing the drawings, and I told him we need to put a little presentation together and, showing our need and cost and our benefits and all that.
Thank you. Be looking for
Well,
that.
the benefit's definitely there,
Yeah, oh, yeah. I mean,
according to the guy that wrote the report.
yeah.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank y'all.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You have in your packet the sheriff's tax settlements, including recap of the total payouts to volunteer fire departments, for example. Any questions about this year in document?
Move to accept.
Want to add something?
Not at all, thank you, thank you. Good morning, thank you.
Any other questions of Chip? All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Thank
Any
you, Sheriff.
opposed?
Thank you.
While you're up here, anything to add? Anything going on in the sheriff's department we need to know?
No, again, we're running a day camp. It's called the Blue and Brown Day Camp at Central Academy. We have it's an 8-week program, Monday through Friday, so every week we get new kids. So we're going to run about 120 kids through that program, and we're in week 4 of it. So it's going well.
I think when the city done one, about a week ago or 2 weeks ago, it was pretty successful.
Yeah,
too.
it's in collaboration with the
Oh, is
city
it?
and
Okay.
in the school system.
Yeah.
So without the school
Yeah.
system and use of their facility, we wouldn't be able to do it. So, and we had donations collected from local industry to help provide T-shirts and provide
I talked
lunches.
to a young man that attended, he enjoyed it, so.
Well, it seems like everybody that
Yeah.
I've talked to and parents seem to be tickled with it. So, but no, that's.
What kind of things do they do?
Today they're doing fingerprinting and crime scene, and they're going to have a mock trial today. They're going to appoint.
We've actually been. One of my staff members and I go and, like, they've been assigned, one's prosecution, one's defense, and they've been given, fingerprints, other evidence, and then they do a little mock trial.
Yeah, so
It's
that's
really fun.
today. Yesterday, they did room clearance
It's pretty
and
cool.
did some airsoft and firearm safety. And at the end of the day, yesterday, the fire department came out and opened up one of the hydrants. And typically Tuesday and Wednesday, the pool's open, so in the afternoon, we've made arrangements with the school system to get a bus, and they take them to the pool. So it's more of to me, a traditional, like, day camp that when I was a kid that you'd go to, and you'd have activities, and then you'd have fun time. So it's been received exceptionally well, so.
Sounds good job.
Yeah, and I ought to add the parents thought it was a great,
Well,
great
again,
camp. too.
and I
Yeah.
talked to the media earlier, and I said, anytime that we can have that interaction with law enforcement and young people in a positive situation, it's always beneficial. So,
Good job. Thank you.
Next, we have County Clerk's report. Thank you for pinch hitting.
Thank you. Okay. I just handed over the May excess fees check in the amount of $127,314.50, making the total for the month $184,577.26.
We'll talk about this later, but once again, Renisa has accurately forecasted their revenue goal. We just passed it last month, so thanks for all your hard work. And again, wrapping up a pretty good fiscal year, and I always like when we budget accurately enough to feel confident for next year, so thank you.
Move to accept.
We have a motion and a second to accept the clerk's report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Mr. Gold, your report.
Judge, I've got 6 checks today. A flow through from the city, $458.33. Health insurance, $15,744.87. Dental and life, $705.46, and $11.10. Aflac, $364.74. And a reimbursement from the state, $3,740.44, bringing today's total to $21,024.94, and bringing the fiscal year total to date to $278,323.28.
Motion to accept. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Mr. Gold. Treasurer Ryder. We have second reading of our 25-26 budget.
This is the second reading of the budget for fiscal year 2025-2026. This has been reviewed and approved by DLG, Department of Local Government, as to form and classification. This budget's being presented as balanced in total as well as respect to the revenues and appropriations of each fund. The total for the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget is $42,917,200. The breakdown of each fund is general, $16,828,698. Road, $7,838,263. Jail, $9,877,133. LGEA, Local Government Economic Assistance, $2,077,898. State grants, $952,164. Federal grants, 0. Economic Development, $335,000. Clerk SB 135, which is the Clerk Permanent Storage Fund, $45,000. Employee health insurance, $3,150,000. Opioid Settlement Fund, $90,000. ARPA, American Rescue Plan Act, $1,723,044. The total budget for fiscal year 2025-2026 is $42,917,200.
I will say that this year's budget process was one of the smoothest I've experienced, thanks in large part to the work of the elected officials and department heads in providing us their timely and accurate estimations for their needs next year. And my right hand, Brenda Ryder, for working with me to prepare for the workshop, which went very smoothly, and I think everybody understood. And I think the fact that this will be the third budget, or at least the second budget this current fiscal court has overseen, everybody's getting used to the process. And So it went very smoothly. I'm very pleased with the budget we've set out. I think it's absolutely meets our needs and is also achievable. And so thank you to all. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other?
We need a roll call on that.
Okay. Any other thoughts before we call the roll? Please call the roll.
Magistrate Starks?
Aye.
Magistrate Barry?
Aye.
Magistrate Southard?
Aye.
Magistrate Tompkins is absent, and Magistrate Putman.
Aye.
And I'll vote aye for the record as well. Okay. Big item out of the way. Now to wrap up this year, as we come into the final week, we have some fund transfers to clean up some line items, and I'll turn that over to Treasurer Ryan.
You've received the fund transfers, and these are as presented, and these are redistributing appropriations within the existing budget. And also, if you will look to the lower second page of the transfer document, I'm asking for a cash transfer from the general fund to the road fund for $500,000. This is a budgeted transfer. Next, to comply with the Department of Local Government as to bring consistency across the state for the opioid settlement fund, they are asking that the current fund for Henderson County is set at 82 and needs to be changed to fund number 74. This is basically a software adjustment. And then the last is asking permission for approval for any other transfers which may arise from deficit appropriation lines due to underestimating the fiscal year-end encumbrances and year-end standing orders.
Does everybody understand that last part?
You want to explain or you want me to? I was going to make a motion with the...
Well, but between now and the end of the fiscal year, there may be a dollar here that every fund has to balance or be in the black. So over the next week, if we get an extra bill here, an extra bill there, pennies there, it gives Brenda the right to move, say, from contingency just to cover those line items and make sure they're all even or in the
I
black.
also have to account for encumbrances, which are services and goods which have been received but possibly not billed yet.
Yeah.
That it's an accounting function, and it's to keep everything in the black
Yeah.
to close the year.
Because we're not going to meet again this fiscal year.
Yeah. I move to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions on transfer? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
You have received your bank balances after paying claims today. The fiscal year appropriations for the fiscal year ending compared to the budget, the general fund was at approximately 67%, the road fund 88%, the jail fund 91%. The overall total for appropriations is approximately 75%. And would you like to address the revenue portion?
Sure. Well, first of all, what she just told you is quite impressive. We came in 75% under budget on appropriations. So everybody's watching their.
Not under budget, 25% under budget.
25%. 75% of
The budget, I'm
of
sorry.
the total. Sorry. That would be
really
cause for
impressive.
alarm.
It'd
Cause
be a
for
big
alarm.
party.
75% of the total. So again, everybody
Oh, yeah.
has minded their pennies, and one thing we've done here, I think, that has been effective, and the Finance Committee was talking about this yesterday. We've never had a use it or lose it mentality in county government, which in the cases of other governments who do have that kind of standard, it prompts wasteful spending, I think. And we also have not penalized departments for not spending all their money in any way. In the following, so there's a combination of we don't tell them use it or you lose it, and then in practice we don't do that. And I think that has given everybody kind of ownership in managing their budgets, and I think for the public, we all understand that we're stewards and we're trying to spend it in the best way possible, and not spending something just for the sake of doing it is one way to really make sure that we do the very best we can to spend what we need and not what we don't. At the same time, I cannot recall any time in the last 7-8 years where a department head has come to us with a need that we didn't fund. You know, that we're not denying departments vital resources or needs that pop up because of new circumstances. We've been able to do that as well. So even though we're 75% of budget, we are still, I think, doing a great job of providing the resources, the services we're required to with good equipment, paying our people what they need, and increasing that every year. So one of the keys to the health of our budget is our control of spending, and that is a compliment to every other department head and constitutional officer in this fiscal court. So that's awesome. The other thing too is our revenue estimates for the year absolutely hit on the mark. We even though we had some big ticket items that we spent on this year, economic development incentives, our help for the water district just being a couple examples, setting aside some money for potential Audubon State Park Conference Center, things like that. We still came in over budget on revenue, just a hair over budget. We made, the revenue was about $500,000 more this year than last year, so that's good as year. You know, I think property value, we've been on without raising taxes, so property values continue to increase, which is a good sign. We have more employment going on out in the county, more things happening out in the county. We have now made over $1.2 million in coal severance revenue over the last 2 years, and that will only increase, so that's a good sign. All those things conspire to keep us from having to raise taxes in any way, shape, or form if we can possibly do so. So we're wrapping up another very good fiscal year, and part of the reason we try to keep a very healthy reserve is 4 things that I just mentioned: larger expenditures that other counties may or may not struggle to address, but we can, and that's a good feeling. And former Magistrate Charles McCullum liked to say it's a lot easier to make decisions out of a position of strength than of desperation, and I think we're certainly in that position. So anything else you'd like to add to that?
I think we stayed healthier this year, Judge, so we came in under budget on our health care.
And members, you know, Magistrate Southard and Magistrate Putman are members of the Finance Committee, and anything you'd like to add, Tim?
I think you summed it up very well.
Yes, I do too.
Another thing to note is, you know, we worried about our health insurance fund. We finished the health insurance fund, I believe, $1 million in the black. Our claims were down, thankfully, both for our people and our budget. So we'll be able to we'll have, I think, a little over $1 million in a rainy day fund for the health insurance program. So as we budgeted for next year once again to keep our employees from experiencing any kind of increase in their insurance premium for the 10th straight year.
Something like that.
That is unheard of, I think, especially in the private sector. It is money in the pockets of our employees, and that's important too. So the fact we had a really good claims year helps us maintain that strategy for our people. So
We just had 2 pretty bad years.
right.
But luckily, because of the banking we'd done before that, allowed us to get, without a lot of bleeding, allowed us to get through that.
Yeah.
So now we're building the bank back up, so hopefully we can keep these rates the same.
That's we can for at least another year.
Right?
Anything else to add, Treasurer Robin? Any other questions or comments on the budget?
Was you finished with claims?
Oh, I do have claims.
Oh, I'm sorry. Gotcha.
I have additional claims. Magistrate Tompkins, $3,976.59. This is for training incentive for calendar year 2025 and is to come from the Magistrate's Training Incentive Appropriation line. Teresa Childers, $5,152.67 for training incentive for calendar year 2025, and this is to come from the Treasurer Training Incentive Appropriation line. Both of these are to be paid with the July 3rd, 2023 payroll. To On-Duty Depot, $1,650. This is for vehicle accessories and is to be paid from the Sheriff's Vehicle Appropriation line. Converge One, Inc., $2,665.08. This is for the telephone system annual support maintenance and is to come from the website maintenance internet services appropriation line. To TriTech Forensics, $600.60. This is for trauma kits and is to come from the Sheriff's Office supplies appropriation lines. These are all for the general fund. Next, for the jail fund, Precision Air Care LLC, $703.60. This is for walk-in freezer repairs and is to come from the equipment repairs and maintenance appropriation line. To Barrett Fisher Company Incorporated, $759.40. This is for paper products and is to come from the tissue paper trash liners appropriation line. To Gov Connections, Inc., $3,565.11. This is for a printer and is to come from the communication equipment appropriation line.
Move to pay the claims.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brenda.
Would anybody from the audience like to say anything for good of the county, since we have so many visitors with us today? Brent Jacobs, anything from behind the glass back there? Behind the curtain?
Thank Fiscal Court for helping this year with a few extra items.
You're welcome.
For the folks watching online, our IT director is Brent Jacobs, and said he had some things he needed, and Fiscal Court was able to help with that. Appreciate with that. In the era of cybersecurity importance, he does a great job, and we help him with the tools he needs. Hearing no other comments, I'll go around the horn one last time this fiscal year. Magistrate Starks.
Thank you, Judge, and happy end of the fiscal year, everybody. Again, fantastic job on the part of everyone to keep us working smoothly, and again, saving that much money, but still being able to deliver the services that people expect. So it's not to the detriment of anybody, any of our citizens. So that is just, I'd like to see if there's anybody else out there that even comes close to that kind of a record. That's pretty awesome. And appreciate our members that serve on the Finance Committee, month in and month out to keep us on track, and Brenda, of course, and the judge. I don't have a whole lot. I was just going to say have a safe and happy 4th of July, since this will be our last meeting before the holiday. And again, just keep our thoughts with our servicemen and women in harm's way right now. I think the world's become an even more dangerous place than it was the last time we were here. So, and the same goes with our first responders and our police and fire. They do an awesome job. And I would ask folks just try to be very respectful as you're firing off the fireworks. There are ordinances that need to be observed, and now with all the rain that we've had, I don't think we have to worry so much about the fire, but still be safe out there. Know all the safety rules. And I will say, the jailer mentioned mental health is a big issue with all of our correctional facilities, things like that, but in our community as well. And I was at a recent Green River District Health Department meeting, and they are launching a new joint program with our county health department and with River Valley Behavioral Health, and I think some other agencies, trying to promote more communication about the services that are available and trying to make more mental health services available to our community. So if you're in need, check that out. I think you can go to their website, and there's more information there that you can quickly address and get connected to a lot of the services. Much of it's free, so they're trying to do their part to step up and address the mental health issues that are out there. And with that, everything else is good.
Master Barry.
Thanks, Bill. Yeah, you do a good job. I'm always glad to go right after you. But thank you, Judge. I don't have a lot. Thank everybody for being here. Thank everybody for doing a good job on the budget. It's always nice to be 25% under than 25% over. So that's amazing. That is. Is that a first?
I can't recall
I
a
don't- That's
better
good.
performance.
No, that's good, that's good. So I want to thank Chip for the program with the kids and that thing, and hopefully that'll filter over to the parents as well. And I say that, we were doing a little class out at one of the county schools several years ago, and I was out there with the canine officer, and as I was talking, this little boy runs up. He wasn't any taller than this counter here. He runs up and he says, "I know you put my daddy in jail." Now, what do you say to that? I think I said, well, I probably did. So hopefully, that need to be done for a long time, and I appreciate you working with the city and getting that done. It sounds like a great program. So, Judge, with that, all's good in one.
Thank you. Mr. Gold?
Things are good in the county attorney's office, Judge. I've said it once, I'll say it again. I am blessed to work with some of the most wonderful legal professionals around. As you mentioned, there were a whole lot of things to get done before this last meeting of the fiscal year, and I have an excellent first assistant in Kyle Evans who was able to help out a whole lot with that. Just top to bottom in our office, between child support, our tax collection unit, prosecution, just to a person, we have an incredible team, and are very proud to be serving this county.
Thank you. Master Putman?
Thank you, Judge. Bill summed it up pretty well. I just, I've been around a long time, and I can't fathom the thought of ending the years like we have. It's a great court. All the elected officials do a tremendous job. And that's just, like I say, if anybody doesn't think we do, all they've got to do is ask for the numbers. And we can show them that we're working effectively. And as Bill said, we haven't had to cut any kind of services whatsoever. We add. I think we talked about our equipment, even at the county garage now, is up. I mean, we're up there. Whereas before, some of them, and Jailer Todd can remember, and I know that, and Mr. Gold, when that stuff was all junk. It's not anymore. So we're doing great. Our employees are staying healthy, and I'm proud to serve with this court and with all of the other elected officials. Great job, everybody.
Thank you.
All's good in the fourth.
Thank you. Master Southern?
Chip, again, that's something special you are doing. If we don't touch our youth, we lost the battle. They're our future, for sure. And thank y'all. And everything's good in District 3 other than the temperature. It's just a little hot. But we were praying for sunshine 2 weeks ago, so I'll take the hot for right now. So, all's good in District 3.
Thank you. Before I make some final comments, it's been a little over a year now that Angela Comer has been our fiscal court clerk, and when we made the switch promoting Kurt Wiesen to deputy judge to focus on some other aspects of our office's activities that we thought would really, really help, and certainly help me and also the rest of the departments, picking his replacement as fiscal court clerk was not the easiest thing, because that's a very important job as well, and our HR director, Angela Comer, stepped up at my begging to handle fiscal court clerk duties, and I just want to say thank you for doing that. It's not an easy position if you're not familiar with it.
You're welcome.
And I'll turn it over to you. If you any thoughts now that you've done this for a while?
Well, I will say I still rely heavily on Kirk because he is very knowledgeable in this, and he keeps me in line, but I have learned a lot. I enjoy working with this court. It's a great group of people. Everybody who works here within the county, I couldn't say anything better about the group that we have here. So I have enjoyed this year. I have a lot more to learn, and I look forward to many more years of being the fiscal court clerk.
Thank you. Really appreciate you, and thanks again to Kurt for helping. it's always interesting to get to the end of the fiscal year because it's a chance to grade yourself in certain respects, whatever, numerics you want to use to assess your performance. But I think seeing as how the name of this body is Fiscal Court, our number one job is to mind the money and make sure we pay for the services people expect. And I think in just about every regard we are passing that test. So thank you again for everybody who helps. And we embark on a new fiscal year, new challenges, new projects. You never know what's going to come down the pike, but I think we're prepared to handle anything that might come our way. One thing I want to mention as part of that is I think the FEMA representatives who have been working in the county for the last several weeks are basically at the end of their tasks. I believe the Disaster Resource Center at the Salvation Army is now closed. I think they have moved on to other projects, but they visited more than 700 people and businesses, homeowners, helping to assess damage and to get people enrolled in programs that will eventually help them. We appreciate their work. It took a while to get that presidential designation, unleashing their folks to help ours, but once that was done, I really commend them. They came in an army and did what they needed to do and really took the time to go out and meet people face to face and get their situations in hand and get them enrolled in the programs that they needed to. So we still have a ways to go. There are still people who are not at home, who are still in temporary housing. There's still a little bit of cleanup to do that the folks who've generously donated to the United Way Flood Fund are helping to pay for. So we appreciate that. But stay tuned. We are moving $1 million, obviously, into the new year to help with flood relief when we can, when allowed. And there may be instances where that may come to bear. Don't know yet, but don't make any mistake. We're still recovering. And some families are still not yet back home. And so just FYI on that. But I'm proud of what we've done to try to help them. And the way our emergency management director, his assistant, their staff, United Way staff, Kelsey Dunham, all work together to reach out and take care of people. So with that, on the last fiscal court meeting of this fiscal year, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor can leave.